The security checkpoint at Terminus Station had processed thousands of species over its 2-century operation, but Chief Security Officer Verk had never seen anything quite like this. The human woman stood at the scanning threshold with her arms crossed, her expression somewhere between amused and impatient. That alone wasn't unusual. Humans were known throughout the galaxy for their peculiar emotional ranges. What made Verk's 4 eyes widen and his chitinous plates rattle with alarm were the 2 creatures flanking her boots. Kethril cubs, apex predators from Sigma Draconis 4. Their species didn't reach full maturity until their 10th solar cycle, but even at this young age, perhaps 2 cycles old, they were formidable. Sleek midnight fur rippled over corded muscle. 6-inch retractable claws scraped against the station's durasteel floor. Their triple rows of serrated teeth were clearly visible as they curled their lips back, releasing low, rumbling growls that made Verk's secondary hearts skip beats. "Ma'am," Verk said, his translator converting his clicking mandibles into galactic standard, "I'm going to need you to restrain those creatures." The human, her identification beacon read as Elsa Moravec, xenobiologist, raised one eyebrow. "They're restrained. They're growling at my security team. They're cubs. They growl at everything." Elsa shifted her weight, and the cubs immediately pressed closer to her legs, their growls intensifying as 3 more security officers approached with stun weapons drawn. Verk had commanded this station for 15 cycles. He'd dealt with smugglers, pirates, and even a rogue AI that had tried to vent the entire Eastern Quadrant into space. He knew when he was facing a genuine threat. The problem was he couldn't determine if the threat came from the predators or from the unnaturally calm human standing before him. Station protocols require all Class 5 predators to be transported in reinforced containment, Verk stated, pulling up the regulation on his wrist display. "These animals are classified as Kethril cubs, yes, I'm aware." Elsa's voice carried that particular human quality that Verk had learned to recognize, patience, wearing dangerously thin. "I'm also aware that I have diplomatic clearance from the Galactic Council's Xenobiology Division, which supersedes your station protocols." The cubs' growls escalated to snarls. Their haunches tensed. Verk saw his security team's trigger fingers tighten. "Ma'am, if those animals attack, they won't. You can't possibly guarantee—" "Enough." The single word from Elsa wasn't shouted. It wasn't harsh. It was simply stated with absolute authority, the kind of tone that expected immediate compliance and accepted nothing less. The effect was instantaneous and shocking. Both cubs fell silent. Their ears flattened against their skulls. The aggressive posture melted away as they lowered their massive heads and, impossibly, curled up beside Elsa's worn boots. Within seconds, they'd transformed from savage predators into something resembling oversized house cats, though their occasional tail twitches betrayed their lethal nature. Verk's translator struggled to process the chittering sound his people made when experiencing profound confusion. His security team lowered their weapons slightly, equally stunned. "How?" Verk began, then reconsidered. The galaxy had learned many strange things about humans over the past century. Since their emergence into the wider cosmos, their death world had produced creatures of impossible endurance. Their pack-bonding instincts were legendary, and their capacity for empathy extended to species that most civilized races would consider mere animals. But this was something else entirely. "Chief Verk, is it?" Elsa's expression softened slightly. "I've been studying Kethrils for 6 years. I was there when these 2 were born. Their mother was killed by poachers when they were 3 months old. I fed them, trained them, slept beside them in territories where they're the apex predator and I'm technically prey." She crouched down, and Verk's hand instinctively moved to his sidearm, but Elsa simply scratched behind one cub's ear, producing a sound that was decidedly not a growl, more like a deep, resonant purr. "Humans have a saying," she continued, looking up at Verk. "We don't meet animals where they are. We bring them to where we are. It's gotten us into trouble throughout our history, but it's also given us a unique relationship with the predators of our own world. Dogs, cats, even bears in some cases. We look at something that could kill us and we see a friend waiting to happen. That's," Verk searched for the word, "insane." "Probably," Elsa admitted with a small smile. "But it's also why the Council sent me to negotiate with the Kethril tribes on Sigma Draconis IV. These cubs aren't pets, Chief. They're ambassadors. And they need to learn to trust other species, starting with stations like this. One of the cubs raised its head, fixing Verk with eyes that reflected the station's lights like liquid gold. There was intelligence there, unsettling and profound. Verk made a decision that would probably earn him a reprimand from Station Command. He deactivated the containment protocols and waved his security team back. "I'm clearing you through," he said. "But those animals stay within sight of you at all times. They wouldn't have it any other way." Elsa stood, and the cubs immediately flanked her again, their postures now relaxed and alert rather than aggressive. As she passed through the checkpoint, one of Verk's junior officers leaned close. "Chief, did we just let a human walk through our station with 2 Class 5 predators?" "We did," Verk replied, watching Elsa and her companions disappear into the crowded concourse. Other species instinctively parted before the cubs, but none panicked. The creatures seemed content to follow the humans' lead. "And that doesn't concern you?" Verk's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "Officer, in my 15 cycles running this station, I've learned one universal truth. Never underestimate a human's ability to befriend something that should, by all logic, eat them." The cub's purring echoed faintly through the checkpoint, a sound that no one had ever thought to associate with the galaxy's most feared predators. But then again, no one had ever given them a human to follow.